Hello, I'm back with another video. Not today, but a few days ago, I was having a conversation with a coworker. He was expressing his frustration and disappointment with his job. He feels as if he's being abused and stressed out. And he was also thinking about not coming back and walking off the job. Quitting without notice, basically. So I understand how he feels because I felt that way about 3 or 4 months ago. I was at the point where I wanted to just walk off the job because sometimes we do become overworked, especially when there's times when there's not enough staff on hand. And also the management has a tendency to shift some of the work onto people who they see as good workers and hustlers, whereas the people who are slackers are not held accountable for not pulling their weight. That becomes old after a while. I'm a restless type person, so I feel like I have to stay busy. So for the most part, it really doesn't bother me. Only when I feel like we're short-staffed and they're trying to put too much on me, that's when it becomes a problem. Getting back to the original topic, I was trying to discourage him from doing that because now, unless you have another opportunity lined up, like say for instance you found a better paying job, or you have another opportunity to become self-employed and earn more money and to be able to cover your benefits, pay for your health care, you have enough money saved in an emergency savings account, then I would advise anyone from walking off a job, because depending on who you get your information from, which news source you consult and get your information from, we may be in a recession or headed towards one. If you listen to Fox News or one of the more conservative outlets, they may have their economists on and financial experts on saying that they see no signs of a recession. But if you listen to a more liberal or libertarian news outlet, some of their financial experts may say that the economy is in a slump and that we may be headed towards a recession. But me, I just use my common sense. I already know that the United States is at about $22 trillion in deficit. And if you just pay attention to what's going on with the news, we have about 800,000 federal government employees who aren't working. They're either on furlough or they've been told to stay home until the government shutdown ends. And also pay attention to what's going on in Europe and the economy over there with Brexit and with the riots in France, and also what's been going on with the crisis in Venezuela. All you have to do is use your common sense to realize that something is going on greater than just this government shutdown in the United States. And a lot of times when there's a economic slump in other countries like Europe, South America, Australia, many times it can have a ripple effect because we have trade agreements with some of these nations. So when they have a recession, sometimes it could lead to a recession in our country, especially when it comes to financial markets like the stock market and the housing market. Another thing that I was thinking about is look at how GM is planning on laying off roughly 15,000 people coming next month. And there's other companies that's planning to shut down, like Sears. I heard Starbucks is going to do some layoffs and close stores. One of these major banks is planning on laying off a lot of their employees. Pay attention to what's going on with the economy in the United States and around the world. Don't necessarily rely on the government to tell you that we're in a recession, because remember what happened last time during the Great Recession. They waited until 2008 to notify the citizens that we were in a recession, while the recession had started in 2007. So they waited a full year later to tell people what was going on. I say all of this to say that it's just not a good time to quit a job unless you have something lined up. If you decide to walk off your job, there's no telling how long it's going to take for you to find another job in this economy. Because jobs are, quite frankly, good paying jobs are hard to come by these days. Especially a full-time job with good benefits, including insurance, is just not a smart thing to do. I don't care if you have to take a moment when you become frustrated and stressed out, or even before you go to work, take a moment to meditate and clear your mind and to clear your thoughts. Meditation is powerful. I'm not trying to tell anyone how to worship or what their religious belief should be, but if you were brought up Christian, prayer is powerful. Pray to the good Lord to give you strength, both mental and physical, to get through your workday. I don't practice Hinduism, but from time to time I use mantras. Like one of the mantras that I use is for Ganesha, which is the god that is supposed to help people to overcome obstacles. One of his mantras is Om Gan Ganapataye Namo Namaha, or Namo Nama. You're supposed to repeat your mantras in increments of 108. And it's powerful. It helps. Disregard that last part if you're a strict Christian, if you're a diehard Christian and you don't want to stray from your religious beliefs. I'm just putting something out there for you to consider and think about. I'm not trying to pressure anybody to convert to another religion or anything like that. You got to think before you act. Don't become so emotional that you act rashly, and then later on you regret your actions, and then you're stuck and you can't pay your bills. You start to accumulate debt, and then the depression begins to set in, and you think, what have I done? I've been there and done that. Got frustrated and walked off a job because I was pissed off at the way that I was being treated. And I've done that on multiple occasions, but on a few occasions I actually did regret it later on. And here's another thing to help people United States citizens put things in the proper perspective. In countries like China, many of the citizens are very overworked and underpaid. Some of them, especially the factory workers, the people who are working in the factories creating products that will be ultimately distributed to stores like Walmart. Those people have to work. They're forced to work very long and grueling hours under poor conditions. I saw a video a couple of days ago of these Chinese workers who were forced to get on their hands and knees out in the public and crawl like dogs, like animals. Why? Because they were underperforming on their jobs. Just think about what that does to their morale. Something like that would probably never fly over here in the United States, but it's almost normalized in countries like China. That's just food for thought. Just in case you start to begin to feel like you're being overworked, you're being disrespected, you're not being appreciated on your job. If you feel that way, the best thing for you to do is to either start your own business, on the side if you can, and build your business up to the extent that you have enough money saved up to leave your job. And once you start, to save your money up, and once you start to earn consistent income from your hustle, your side hustle in business, then you can make a rational decision to leave your job. It's either that or look for another job with better working conditions and better pay. I think that's going to be it for this video. And as always, thanks for watching and listening. I'm out.